Gloria Steinem is an American feminist icon, journalist, and social and political activist.
Gloria Steinem was born in Toledo, Ohio. She attended Smith College from 1952 to 1956. So today we're doing an interview with Gloria Steinem, and I have a few questions to ask her, just to see what she thinks about it all. Okay. So, recently a woman said to me that she's not sure if she's a feminist or not. And I was spending a lot of time thinking about it. How can a woman not be a feminist? Why are so many women scared to call themselves a feminist today?
I think there are two reasons. One is because they're not sure what the word means, but if they look up the definition, they feel comfort with it. The second one is they know what it means and realize that either they disagree with it, if they really believe in the traditional position of women, or fear the punishment that it will bring. And it does bring punishment. It brings great mutual support. If you say you're for equal pay for yourself, that's a reform. But if you say you're a feminist, then you're talking about all women as a social group.
In 1962, Gloria Steinem went undercover as a Playboy bunny to expose how women were treated in the New York Playboy Club.
To write a story, I changed my name and I thought I would get through, a few auditions and write about the auditions, but they were so desperate for people that it kept going.
What is your definition of being a feminist today? I noticed that in some of your writing, you specify yourself as a radical feminist.
I would still go along with the dictionary definition of someone, which can be a woman or a man, who believes in the full social, economical, political equality of men. If you think about the racial parallel, it gets more clear. I'm white and you're white, but we can work for racial equality. We're being culturally deprived. We're stuck in a white ghetto. Once men realize that they're also deprived, not as much as women, but there's a full circle of human qualities that we all have a right to. They're also confined to the masculine ones. Where are 70% of all of them? And we're confined to the feminine ones? Where are the 30%? We're missing out, but they're still missing a lot. If a man fights to be his whole self, to be creative, to express emotions men are not supposed to express, do jobs that they're not supposed to do, take care of his own children, all of these things are part of the feminist movement.
People remember you. They say, oh, that writer who's a girl, in the same way that they say, oh, that writer who's black, or who's an American Indian, or something. But in the long term, it doesn't help. They don't take you seriously.
It hurts?
I think so, yeah.
There's a patriarchy in the political system of this country. What's needed to change that, and how do you see the political system suppressing women?
The electoral system is not where change starts. It usually starts in communities and from the bottom up, but it is where change can be stopped. So it's very important that it be representative, which it isn't right now. And it's certainly even less representative in state legislators than it is in Washington. But the problem we can solve is the vote. Right now, this is the least amount of people participating in the democracy world. Only about 39% of the people voted in the last election. In India, 70% of the electoral votes, even with all the difficulties of the huge population and illiteracy. Women are still not voting in the same percentage as men.
What advice would you give to the public on becoming politically active?
If you don't stand up for yourself politically, no one else will. So we have to use our votes and our dollars and our voices to be engaged and involved in these issues. One vote does in fact count. I was campaigning for 2 or 3 months before the last election, and some of the people I campaigned for, very good candidates, won by a few thousands, a few hundred votes, or in one case, I think only 4 votes.
It's important now to know things. You have to push your intelligence as far as it will go, but it's more important to understand things.
It comes down to asking people to reconstruct their understanding of gender roles and their whole system of values.
Right. In a way, what happens to men is called politics, and what happens to women is called culture. We've taken one giant step forward by convincing the majority of the country that women can do what men can do. But the next step is convincing the country that men can do what women can do. So far, we don't believe it ourselves.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get political assignments or anything other than assignments about women. Once I was sent to Life magazine by my agent about an assignment, and they sent me home. So we want a writer, not a girl. So we want a writer, not a girl.
Her books include the bestsellers Revolution from Within, A Book of Self-Esteem, Outrageous Acts and Everyday Rebellions, Moving Beyond Words, and Marilyn Norma Jean on the Life of Marilyn Monroe. She was an editor of the Reader's Companion to U.S. Women's History. Steinem co-founded New York Magazine and Miss Magazine, where she continues to serve as a consulting editor. She has been published in many magazines and newspapers here and in other countries, and is also a frequent guest commentator on radio and television.
There's been frustration and resistance along the way, yet you continue to persevere. Where do you draw that strength from to keep up the fight?
First, I have companionship. I was always working at Miss Magazine, where we're very different, but at least we share a lot of the same values. We're communal creatures. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need to find at least 3 or 4 or 6 or 12 people to meet with them once a week and keep this kind of community support.
Do you feel optimistic about the future?
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but I also know nothing will happen automatically. Change depends on what you and I do every day.